Hey everyone, AquaTwist here. So I wanted to talk about FZero and why I think for Switch 2 or just the Switch in general next year, it's going to have a huge comeback. And I have a couple theories why. So let's start off with FZero Climax and GP Legend. These Switch ports came out a few weeks ago on Switch Online. It's like, oh cool, I can play these Game Boy Advance games. Oh, Climax, that game! Oh my god, that's so cool! Why? Well, for those of you who don't know, Climax was only released in Japan 20 years ago. And we haven't gotten any ports of it, it never came to the States, nothing. So the fact that it's on Switch, accessible to anyone really, is pretty exciting. And the best part is, since the UIs are in English, you can easily just hop into the Grand Prix, make cool tracks, which we haven't seen a US version of an FZero game yet. And yeah, it's just awesome. I definitely recommend it. And also GP Legend, which as far as I know, was only ported to Wii U in Japan and not in the States, makes this also accessible. And it's cool because it's based on a anime of the same name. I haven't seen it, but it looks really cool. And yeah, these games, it's perfect to release them alongside each other. They're two sides of the same coin. They share a lot of similar UI, gameplay, graphics, and they're all already fun, especially since beforehand, the last GBA game we got ported to Switch, and 3DS Ambassador Program, if you remember that, was Maximum Velocity. And I'm sorry, it's not great. I mean, there's no Blue Falcon, at least in the starting roster. It's like, who are you people? I mean, it plays good. I tried it on Switch Online recently. It's fun, but like nowhere near how fun like Climax and GP Legend, and especially FZero 99 are. And it's really good. To have these two games accessible on Switch is huge, but why are we seeing so much FZero lately? And I want to talk about a theory. But before that, let's talk about FZero 99 real quick. So for those of you who remember, that was the latest game in the FZero series that we had gotten in, again, almost 20 years. And on top of that, it's actually really fun. I don't really play too much. I only do it every now and then, when there's a new event or, because of the Switch Online content coming out, I'm like, oh, let's play some 99 again. Sure, let's do it. It's really good. I'd say it's one of the best 99 games Nintendo's put out alongside Mario 35, rest in peace, or Tetris 99, which somehow still gets, events, which I have almost all the themes. It's just too addicting. But anyway, it's really good. And on top of that, it's getting so much support with all these cool, side modes. There's a classic event where you only have, 3 boosters at a time. And it has the 4:3 ratio, just like the classic F-Zero game on the SNES. That is just amazing. You got, team battle, you have all these points and events. It's just fantastic, and it's awesome to see it going strong a year later. But why do these two cases matter? Why are they important? I think next year is going to be the big comeback of F-Zero. Here's why. So for those of you who don't know, F-Zero originally released on November 21st, 1990 in Japan. Next year, it's going to be 35. Nintendo bases its anniversaries on its Japanese release date, hence why we got Skyward Sword HD in 2021 instead of 2022. 35 years for a lot of Nintendo series are treated really good. There's some omissions, of course, but I'd say for the big heavy hitters, they get them treated right. And this may be one of them. This may just be like, oh, we're not going to do a no F-Zero game for a long time, even though it's 35 years. But why I think they are is because, again, 99 is doing really well. They're pushing that game a lot on Switch Online. It's free. And again, F-Zero, GP Legend, and Climax are also free, while with a subscription, but you get the point. And that's the thing. Lower stakes, lower budget titles, but they're really fun. And I think Nintendo's testing the waters for a new F-Zero game. And here's why. In 2021, we got the Famcom Detective Club remakes, which I mentioned in the previous video. They're really good, but why did they do them? Because Sakamoto wanted to make Amio. And this wouldn't have been possible if, 1, those games weren't remade, and 2, they weren't that good. And the fact that this happened at all, this is one of the best, honestly, Switch games, in my opinion, or one of the best games of the year. It's just so good. Dark, mature themes, perfect for Halloween. If a niche series like Famcom Detective Club can get another entry on Switch, so recently after the remakes, I think F-Zero is next in line, especially with, again, 99 and all these ports. So I think the start of this comeback is going to be with a new port or remaster of F-Zero GX. Why? So according to Nintendo Life, Switch Online's expansion pack promises excitement in 2025. So Nintendo put out an email recently celebrating the 3rd year anniversary of the NSO expansion pack, which, if those of you don't know, includes N64 Online and Game Boy Advance Online, as well as a few other things. So this means they're adding something to the service next year. Hey, we don't know what it is yet. I think there's a huge chance it's going to be GameCube. What was one of the best GameCube games from Nintendo? F-Zero GX. So F-Zero GX was the last GameCube title released on home consoles. That came out in 2003. Also over 20 years old. And also earlier this year, I don't know if this was rumored before, but F-Zero GX Remastered is rumored to come to Switch. So let's take a look at this article real quick from comicbook.com. According to an insider named Zippo, who has shared accurate Nintendo info in the past, a fully remastered version of GX is in the works for Switch. It's claiming this new edition of the game will be called GX Recharged and will run at 60 FPS with 1080p resolution. Beyond this, it's said that Nintendo has already finished development on the project and is merely sitting on it to decide when it will eventually be released. Now, that's not unheard of. We got Engage in 2023 when supposedly it was done in 2021, and that was technically the 35th anniversary for Fire Emblem. So it's like, okay, this makes sense. But this was in May, so not much has happened yet, but I do think this is next in line. Now here's my second piece of evidence. Nintendo might be gearing up for a GameCube Controller comeback, and this is literally like yesterday as of the time of recording this from Nintendo Life. Supposedly, we're going to be getting a new GameCube Controller. No, not the reissues from Smash 4 or anything like that, not like that, I promise. But supposedly, an actually new GameCube controller designed for the Switch Online. So let's take a look at this. This comes from a Reset Era thread via Hidden One on Family Boards, where a user randomly random 67 goes into component shipments that they believe are for Switch 2 production and other Nintendo products, and yes, one of those other Nintendo products is naturally a GameCube controller. Randomly random 67's post suggests this controller is now in active production. Okay, so, a similar rumble motor, in the same one as the N64 pad, a bunch of other components like the specific LED light covers, trigger covers. So if GameCube Switch Online happens, this is awesome because that means we got F-Zero GX almost likely to come to Switch as a port. Why? Because we got F-Zero on the Switch Online, we got X on the N64 Online, and now we have Maximum Velocity, Climax, and GP Legend. That's nearly every F-Zero game on the Switch, which that isn't true for every Nintendo series. Like some like Metroid, you can't play every one on Switch, so that's freaking awesome. And the next step, other than this, I think they're going to be doing this as a final test. Okay, we got GameCube Online, GBA Online, and a brand new game with 99. If all these three things, or most of these three things do well, I think we're going to be getting a new F-Zero something. Again, if GameCube Online happens, I don't think we're going to get a remaster. It just doesn't make any sense, especially if it, once again, comes Switch Online. But I do think we're going to be getting a new F-Zero game. And what could they add? I have a couple theories. So the first thing it could do is it could do a track editor. Again, they haven't done a track editor in many of the F-Zero games, and most of them have been exclusive to Japan, like F-Zero X's expansion pack, or F-Zero Climax, just in the base game in Japan. GX didn't have it, X didn't have it, none of them. It's unfortunate. The one in Climax is pretty simple, but honestly really fun, and especially with the recent popularity of, like the Mario Maker games, the Zelda Dungeon Maker, and the Link's Awakening remake. I think there's a lot of demand for these course maker type of games, and yeah, Nintendo doesn't do them often, but they've really been pushing it in the Switch generation, and I do think that's going to be a big feature. The second thing is online play. We haven't really seen that yet, at least with a main series title when it came out, because, again, the last one was 20 years ago. Online wasn't really a big thing in Nintendo games back then. Now it is. So whether if it's a full-on Battle Royale 99 mode within F-Zero, ZX I'm going to call it, I don't care, or if it's just the standard, like 60 racers, 30 racers, I think it's possible. I do think online is a guarantee and all that stuff. Now the final thing is a Captain Falcon related mode. Why? Because if you look at the shirt on the bottom right, it's Captain Falcon. And he was, I'd say, like really pushed during the GameCube era in the early 2000s, and especially in the late 90s and stuff like that. A lot of people love Falcon, and Smash especially, with his iconic like Falcon punch and like his taunts. Oh, show me your moves. Just everyone loves Falcon. And I think if Nintendo wants to make a new F-Zero, they're going to want to push hard into that and be like, hey, you like Falcon? You got Falcon, man. We're giving you a new single-player story mode, just exclusively Captain Falcon. You're doing bounty hunter missions, driving around a little car in a mini, like, overworld. I don't know how they do it, but that would be friggin' awesome. And yeah, so I think ZX would be just incredible. And just, yeah, like a new era for F-Zero. I know we got Fast RMX at the start of the Switch's life, which is a nice successor, but nothing can touch F-Zero. I don't think it's replaceable. All the characters are iconic. It's just the iconic difficulty spike and the tracks and the legacy of, like, the Super Nintendo. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I think next year, because it's going to be 35 years, it would be cool if there's, like, a remaster. Yeah, I mean, they did that with Zelda, but I think it makes a lot more sense if they want to push Switch 2, be like, hey, here's why I should get a new Switch instead of an old Switch. F-Zero's coming back. I think this would be an awesome launch title, if not a, mid to, like, end of the year game, maybe around the holidays. I think that'll be perfect. I know there's Mario Kart 9 probably going to be a launch title, so, I mean, the Super Nintendo had Mario Kart and F-Zero at the same time. Same with Mario Kart 64 and F-Zero X, and Mario Kart Double Dash and F-Zero GX. So these two series can definitely coexist because although they are racing and one's more popular than the other, they appeal to different audiences. And I think if Nintendo wants to grow and not repeat the mistakes of the Wii U or the GameCube, I think they're going to want to tap into those untapped markets. So I definitely think we're going to be seeing ZX some point next year, and it would be an awesome celebration of the series. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I just wanted to put this out there and see what happens. So, do you like F-Zero? Have you played it? Or are you excited for a potential port or sequel of GX? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe and like this video if you want to see more commentary videos like this. I'll see you next time. Bye. Routing up until the day I meet you. I'm routing up.